Bonjour et bienvenue dans cette nouvelle vidéo. So today the video is gonna be, I will say, special or a bit different than usual. I'm not gonna talk about grammar, I'm gonna talk about myself and how I reached the level I have now in English. So c'est parti, I'm gonna explain many things and tips that has been really helpful for me. So firstly, to talk about me, so I grew up in Normandy, in a town that's called Évreux. And when I was young, I hate English. I didn't like it too much at school. I never enjoyed. I feel in the contrary a bit stressed when I used to go to the English class. And my older sister, she always has a really good level in English that you could even don't guess that she was French. And I don't know, I was like, oh my God, never I'm gonna speak English like her. So yeah, she was helping me for the homework, but honestly, it didn't work, you know. In my year 12, I got, even I work really hard on my English. I got like 5 out of 20 in the English topic. So, and I think honestly, the teacher, they had maybe pity on me. I have always preferred Spanish because, Spanish, you can translate more like word by word. So I liked that. And I remember sometimes I have some discussion with my sister that she was helping me, when we were doing exercises. I was like, no, but I need to translate word by word to make sure I understand. Give up or go down, those composition word in English. We don't have it too much in French. So if you say down or up, there is no direct translation to French. This is the idea of going up, or the idea of going down in French, like en l'air ou en bas. But I mean, you cannot translate exactly word by word. And I will say this was a big mistake. I think now, when you learn a language, you really need to think how out of the box, you cannot translate word by word. Sometimes there is idea of concept or words that you're not gonna have exactly the same. And for me, when you speak another language, is also learning a way to go into the other culture, It's just not some words you just translate it like that. I have been always thinking of learning English. As I say, I hate English, but I knew that sooner or later it will be useful for me. After my year 12, I studied a few years at university. I passed some diploma, certificates. After that, I still have in my mind the idea of speaking English. It was always in my mind. I say, okay, one day I'm gonna go in an English country and I'm gonna learn English, because I know I have to. I cannot explain exactly why, but I knew that I will need English. So I studied in France. I worked a couple of years in France. And also one of my dreams was to live in an island. I always wanted to live in an island and speak English. So I went to Réunion Island. So I don't know if you know this island. It's a small island next to Madagascar and Mauritius Island. It's a French island, like a département français. And there, of course, the people speak French. So I have a lovely time there. If you don't know this island, I encourage you to check because it's French. And I feel sometimes people don't know that it's actually a French island on the middle of the Indian Ocean. And it's so beautiful, honestly, so beautiful. So I stayed approximately 3 years in Réunion Island. I have done a couple of different jobs there. And my idea of speaking English came back. I was like, no, I want to speak English. And also I remember because back then I worked a bit in tourism as well. I saw position in South Africa. And I always wanted to go to South Africa. Oh my God, this is about talking about all the touristic things and doing the promotion of Reunion Island. And I have been visited a lot Reunion Island, so I thought, okay, this job will be for me. But of course, in South Africa, they ask English. So I saw like the description of the position and I was like, oh my God, I would love going there and work there. I apply and I think I even don't mention the language. And I thought, okay, maybe with a bit of luck, I'm gonna get the job, you know, but I mean, I think they never replied to me. And after that, I thought like, okay, I don't want to miss any other opportunity in my life because of English. So one day, I thought like, okay, from now I need to find a way to speak English. This is not negotiable. So at that moment I was in Reunion Island and I thought, okay, I'm gonna search a way to speak English, you know. So of course you can find some English tutor in Reunion Island, but at that time I was like, I can do something like bigger. And I think as I am a really slow learner, and I mean, this is true because I have some students, they come and they say, I'm a really slow learner. And I think I am a slow learner too, so don't worry. I went to the agency in Reunion Island that help you to find a job or help you to have a project, you know, like a professional project. The woman was helping me. She told me, look, there is like a program in Reunion Island that you learn English a few months here in Reunion Island, and then you're gonna go to Australia. We help you to go to Australia and to find a job related to your skills. And I thought like, okay, but honestly at the beginning I didn't want to go to Australia. Why? Because I don't know, I have always heard about Australia like through French people, and it was always like backpackers that works in farm, do a road trip. But me, I was like, I don't want this. Me, I just want to speak English. That's it. I said, I would have preferred to go to South Africa. You don't have anything to offer in Africa, in an English spoken country. And the woman, she said to me, no, like, and your English is so bad that, I mean, it's gonna be really hard for you. And of course, in terms of safety as well, is not the same story, I would say it like that. So then I was like, okay, maybe if I go 1 year in Australia, after that my level in English is gonna be good. Okay, let's start this program. I decided to enroll for this program, and this program was like, I think around like 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in a school, and then I have a lot of free time. And yeah, they were like, it was cover like financially from the department, and I was like, okay, so it's a real opportunity. But of course, being in a class with only French speaker and also like a Creole speaker, like the language as well we speak in Reunion Island, it was not the best environment to learn English. And back then, I think my mind was still really close-minded. I thought like, okay, I'm gonna learn English, but I have still all those thoughts that I think, oh, it's gonna be so hard. And my English, always I have been so bad in English, so terrible, my level. I was doing the homework, I remember. And by the way, recently I have checked some of the video I made. And when I saw the video, it's simple. I was just saying words, but I think I didn't know, of course, what was the exact meaning of each single words. And I was like, okay, I'm doing my homework because I have to. But, you know, it was not like a formal class. We didn't do like proper grammar. It was more like activity. You talk about a country you like or about food that you like, which was good, but my level was so low in English that even for that I was like searching many words, and when I said it, I think I didn't really understand what I was saying actually. And after like I would say 3 or 4 months, the woman of the agency, she told me, look, Celine, are you ready to go to Australia? Because you can do an interview with a woman that she can probably help you to find a job in Australia, like an agency in Australia. And I say, I don't know if I have done a lot of progress in 3 or 4 years, but sooner is better. So I'm happy. So I did an interview and I thought, okay, Mia, I have been working in tourism. I have been working in events, like I have organized events. I was like, okay, I probably gonna try really hard. I was stressed for the interview with this Australian woman. We did like a Zoom call. I have never really practiced with someone. So I did the interview and it was, how should I say, like terrible. It was terrible. Even I tried really hard. She was not speaking French. She was Australian. And I could feel after a few seconds, I wouldn't say minutes, I didn't understand anything. And it was funny now when I think about it. At the end, the interview lasts like, I don't know, 2 minutes. And at the end, I saw her face changed. She told me, okay, thank you so much, bye. And then I was like, oh my God, I didn't get anything that she said. And then I talked to the woman in Reunion Island from the agency where I was. And I said, okay, so you think they're gonna help me to find a job in my area with my skills? And she said, like, look, Céline, I mean, unfortunately, with the level you have, we cannot offer anything else that working in farms. And I was like, okay, bon. I knew my level. I couldn't understand, I understood probably 3 words of the Australian woman told me during the interview. So I was like, okay, if you are going on a working holiday visa, actually it's good because you can do your 3 months of farms. I don't know if you know that, but when you have a working holiday visa, if the first year you work 3 months in farms in Australia, you are allowed to apply for the second working holiday visa that gives you another year. I need to speak English, so I don't think there is a point to just wait in Reunion Island doing some extra classes in this big group of people that I felt that I didn't really progress. So then I said, okay, let's go to Australia. So yeah, they said to me, okay, we find you like a job in Bundaberg in Queensland. So of course I have no idea where I was going to. I took a flight, Reunion Island, Mauritius Island, Perth, Brisbane, Bundaberg. I was lucky because I was with 2 other women in this group that they were going as well to Australia to learn English or to have an experience there. And we were 3 of us. We went there. We arrived to the farm. I had not a big surprise, but I remember really well when this small plane was arriving in Bundaberg. I was like, oh my God, everything looks so big and so different than France, you know. Of course, France is a small country in comparison to Australia. I arrived and I don't know, everything, of course, you feel strange, you know. And me, naive I was, when they told me, oh, you would like to go in farms, I say, yeah, farms. Yeah, I come from Normandy. Normandy, it's really like a rural area. We have a lot of farms, lot of animals in farms. We produce cheese. So me, I was imagining something like that because I was like, okay, farms, I like farms, you know. But of course, when I arrived there, it was crazy. This is really crazy, but I think in detail, if you are interested to know more about my experience in farm, let me know in the comment and I will make another video. The first month, there were some French people, which was good at that time because I was so scared. Like, I couldn't speak English. Every time people speaking English to me, I was just panicking, so stressed. And then I was like, oh my God, but yeah, it really generates stress in me. And I think probably from trauma that I had before in France, I believe. At that time, I remember I was just writing some vocabulary in a notebook, and I remember I have okay, I'm gonna pick a topic. For example, I took kitchen, so then I write a fork, une fourchette, like a knife, un couteau, and I was just writing list of vocabulary because I thought, okay, at least it's gonna help me to start knowing a bit of more vocabulary, because as I say, you have to imagine that I start from scratch, you know. I think I knew the numbers, and I knew as well, like, yes, some basic words like hello, thank you, things like that. So I was doing that during the farms, and then I met a woman a Polish woman, and she told me, look, if you want to go with me, I'm going to Sydney. Would you like to come with me? And this was really funny because she was so nice, but at the same time, we didn't have conversation. We were not speaking English together, or really, really basic. But she said to me, look, you can come with me. I could understand that. And I thought, like, okay, I'm going to follow her because I have no idea where should I go, if I should go to Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and I said, okay, let's go to Sydney. So I left the farm. I haven't finished my days to get the second working holiday visa at that time. But I was like, it doesn't matter because this experience in farms are super hard and I need to see what is Australia. So then we arrived in Sydney, and in Sydney, at the beginning, I was in a hostel. And in the hostel, I tried really hard to not spend time with French people because I thought, okay, I have heard many stories, people and French people that go to Australia, they meet really quickly French people, of course, and they spend all of the year with French speaker. And me, I was like, no way. I was really focused actually, but I was like, no. And I remember I met some people in the hostel, and I was like, I have maybe like talked to them a little bit, or I think we went to a restaurant or something like that. But then I was like, then I need to find a job, I need to find an accommodation. So when I was searching for an accommodation, and I chose like accommodation with no French speaker. At that time, actually, I spent more time like with like Latino people, because I was like, there is no French people, no, but there were a lot of Latino people. I have tried, and I remember at the beginning when I wanted to talk with my housemate, sometime when I was like, oh my God, we cannot communicate, I'm gonna speak a bit more Spanish. I think it's gonna be easier for me. So the thing is, once I was in Sydney, I searched for like a job. So many things happen as well when you don't speak the language, you don't speak English, and you have to find a job. So many things happened to me. I arrived in Sydney. I had the bad, I will say, idea to think that, oh, now because I'm in Sydney, I'm going to meet people, I'm going to meet Australian people, and in a few months, I'm going to be bilingual. And people said that in France, said if you are going to a country and in 6 months, you're going to be bilingual.
Vous pensez? Moi, je pense pas. C'est mon avis.
This makes me upset because it's not true. Except if, of course, you have some really good basics in the grammar or in the language, if you have vocabulary, if you are really good in languages in general. But honestly, for me, this is a myth. And I don't like that when the people say that, because then when people, they go actually in another country and they realize that after 6 months, they don't speak well the language, then they say, oh my God, like, yeah, I thought in 6 months. No, not at all. The first year, I will say, the bad idea to study alone. To study, I will say, oh, I'm going to study alone and I'm going to be fluent in English. I'm going to speak English. This is another mistake. For me, when you really want to start from scratch and you really want to speak a language, if you are on your own, maybe after many years, you can have a decent level or maybe some conversation. But for me, like, it depends as well of the people. But for me, definitely, it was not working. So the second year, after 1 year, so I went back to farm, I finished my days, and I got the second working holiday visa. My English was really basic. I could, of course, start speaking. I tried to make really like a lot of effort, but my English was still really basic. And I was so often like, I didn't understand the people and things like that. So then I was like, okay, I need to find another strategy. I'm never gonna reach the level I want. So in the second year, and this I will call that an amazing idea, is to have English teacher, English tutor. And this was definitely a game changer. If you want to learn faster, if you want to reach your goal and to understand better the language, understand better why you are making those mistakes and everything, like you need to have like a tutor, you need to have a teacher. So the second year I have 2 teachers. So first one teacher, like a lovely girl from London. So she has helped me a lot during COVID. And I could feel definitely like a difference after like 2-3 months. We were doing maybe 2 or 3 hours per week, something like that, but only with that it was helping me a lot. And after that, I have another English teacher. I need to invest time, I need to invest money because I'm on my second working holiday visa and probably I won't stay too long after that. So I was like, okay, is the time to invest and to give everything. So with this English teacher, I had decided to invest a lot. So with this second English teacher, I have decided to invest money, invest time, effort, and doing everything that was in my power to actually, finally, speak English as I wanted, between 10 and 15 hours, something like that. I bring my question, if I have any question about things that I have heard, about words or grammar point that I don't understand, because every day as well for the first year and the second year, I try to read a lot, I try to listen to the radio, and then I was like, okay, I want to bring my question, and my English teacher didn't speak French, so I have to find a way to ask and things like that. And really, for me, really important is that each single mistake I make, I want my teacher tells me. I repeat when I don't pronounce well, or if I make a mistake again, and so my teacher was interrupting me, but I love it because it was like that I could really understand the mistake. And sometimes, and I know I'm still making mistake in English, of course, you have heard it already, but yeah, I really wanted that fixing my major mistakes, I would say it like that. I was repeating all the time, every time I was making a mistake, I was repeating. And also when he was speaking, I was asking him all the little word I didn't understand. And we agree like that, this was the lesson. When I speak, he interrupted me and he told me, no, this is this pronunciation. And of course he was writing a little bit to explain to me everything. And on another hand, me, when I say, wait, stop, what did you say here? I don't know this word, can you write it down? How do you pronounce it? It's like formal, informal word. And I was just so focused like that, asking 10,000 questions per week. But it was for me the key to learn and to speak as I speak now. Step by step, I realized, I say, okay, I can see a big difference. And this is amazing, I was so happy, when you have this feeling that before I was listening English and I was, oh my God, I don't get it, anything. English is so hard. And finally, when someone is speaking, you can imagine the words like in your brain, like a transcription. And then I was like, oh my God, this I get it, this I get it, this I don't get it, but I understand all that, all the context. So because of those words and everything, and then I was like, wow, it's such an amazing feeling. And to be honest, sometimes I cried because I thought I could have never imagined that one day I will speak English. And even now, when sometimes I'm with people, my Australian friend, and I speak, we have a discussion, and I say, oh my God, what the brain can do if you are really motivated, if you put effort, energy on it, money on it as well. So you can actually do everything, and this is possible. Even I was a slow learner, even I hate English. And sometimes my teacher, he was saying to me but Céline, I told you this word 12 times already and you still don't remember, or you still don't pronounce it. But in in a nice way, because I asked him to be really straightforward with me, and he told me that, and then I said, you know what? It's okay. Maybe you still need to repeat to me 5 more times, 10 more times, 50 times. It's still not stick in my brain. So let's keep doing it. Let's keep moving. You can still correct me. You have to correct me as well. And I just accepted that even now I'm still learning English every day. Like, there are still words that I don't understand and I don't remember. And you know what? It's okay. It's part of the journey. It's part of the process. So now we arrive at the end of this video. And for me, what is important and what I will recommend is definitely don't learn on your own if you are a slow learner. Don't think that on your own you're gonna be like having a conversation in few years, in few months. This is not true, in my opinion. Secondly, it's really important to have a teacher or someone that can correct your pronunciation, your grammar mistakes and everything. This is really important because if you don't have any feedback, how you want to improve, you need feedback. And the third lesson, I will say, speak, and speak. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Once you know and once you have found a teacher that you feel, okay, I think this person is really matching with me, because, I have people that they have tried before other French teacher, French tutor, and then they came and they say, okay, finally, I think you are the right person for me, but I'm probably also not the right person for someone else, but you have to find the right person for you. And this person, this teacher, has to be, of course, really empathic, nice with you, correcting you and tell you the truth, the thing you need to hear. But yes, just keep speaking, keep learning, and enjoy the journey of learning a language. If you really want to speak French, you will speak French. Everything is possible. So I hope you liked this video. So it was a bit more personal and really different than other videos. If you want more videos like that, so just let me know, write in the comments. And of course, if you have any experience of learning a language that you want to share, the same, I will be happy to read everything that you write in the comments. Merci beaucoup, à bientôt, au revoir.